everybody, and welcome to today's webinar, Getting the Most Out of Member Data. I'm Robin Harris, and I will be walking you through some of the features and benefits of Cathedral's online list maintenance, or OLM service. I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy day today to join us, and we hope that this webinar will be beneficial to you and to the parish. So let's get started. We hear from you all the time that it's so important for the church to have accurate member data, but it's equally important to be able to easily keep that data up to date. That's where Cathedral's online list maintenance service comes in. Not only does it make keeping your information up to date easy, but it also saves time and money by helping to ensure your stewardship and parish mailings get through to your members. With Cathedral's online list maintenance system, you can save time, money, and effort. So even if you have a comprehensive mailing list, including the members of every ministry and friends of the church, if you don't maintain it, it'll be about as useful as a 1950s phone book. Cathedral's online list maintenance, or OLM service, makes list maintenance a snap. And best of all, it's free, and free is my favorite price. We also know that confidentiality and security is very important when it comes to your member list. That's why your list is kept on our secure servers and can only be accessed with a password that you set. All of your changes are made in real time, and they are available to you 24/7 from any computer that has internet access. So today we're going to cover how to add new members, update existing members, send temporary envelope sets, get member lists, temporarily inactivate a member, code some group lists, and then create group reports, review status changes, and track those members that are on the move. If you have any questions about using Cathedral's OLM in your parish, be sure to use the message function on your webinar dashboard to share them at any time during this presentation. We're going to take some time at the end to address them. If you aren't already a Cathedral customer, be sure to measure the flexibility and the features of our OLM service that you'll see today against the methods that you're currently using to manage your member data. We'll be happy to talk to you about switching. So let's start with one of the first things you'll need to know how to do, which is add a new member. One of the most important things that you can do for a new member or parishioner is to make them feel welcome and part of the church family as soon as possible. This includes making them a part of your parish communications and your stewardship efforts. If you don't get to them right away, then there's a possibility that they could get lost in the shuffle. Adding new members on OLM is very easy. As a tip, Cathedral's OLM is best viewed using Microsoft Internet Explorer. When adding new members, the quickest way to find the last number that you used in the OLM system is from the main screen. Finding the first column of the data that's entitled envelope number. If you click on the downward facing yellow arrow, the last number you assign will appear at the very top of the list. To add a new member onto the system, you just type in their envelope number, name, and address that you'd like to have it appear on their envelope and click the active status. Now, if you don't click a status or select a status, you won't be able to enter the member onto the system. Once you click the Add This Member button, you'll see at the top of the member record a red line that will indicate that your member has been added to the system. So like we said, maintaining your members' information is essential for making sure your communications are accurate. There are lots of reasons that your member data needs to be updated. There's all kinds of changes that need to be made, such as changes of name due to marriage or the death of a spouse, a move, either across town or out of state. But it is essential for making sure your communications are accurate that you maintain your members' information. Making these changes to your mailing list quickly helps foster more personal relationships with your members. That's where OLM comes in very, very handy. To search for a member in the list that needs to be updated, simply search by envelope number, if you know it, or by the first or last name of your member. If you just enter the information you know in the appropriate area and then click the Search Display Specific Members button, you'll see all members that meet your criteria. Once you see your member displayed on the screen, just click on the envelope number to select that record. Enter any changes or updates that you need to make in the desired field, and then click Update Member Information to save your changes. Again, the red line at the top of the record will appear that lets you know that your change has been made. Note that when you change a member's status to inactive or delete it, they no longer receive envelopes. But the information is still available to you on the system for your use for other purposes. One of the other things that you can do from the member's record is send them a temporary set of envelopes. As a note, you will need to have your account set up to be able to send temporary sets. If you're uncertain as to whether your account is currently set up to do this, please be sure to contact your customer service representative and they can take care of it for you. So there's a lot of reasons why you would want to send temporary envelopes. One is for newly registered families in the parish, and they're not yet receiving their regular envelope mailings. As we said before, it's real important to make sure that your newly registered families feel welcome and part of the church family as quickly as possible. Temporary sets are a great way to do that. You can also use temporary envelope sets for any regular members that have misplaced their envelopes. We all know that there are some folks in the church that will not give unless their envelope is pre-printed with their name and their envelope number on it. They're also great to use for visitors to the parish who are there for an extended period of time. So you can use Cathedral's OLM to order these temporary sets. In the member record, you simply need to click on the radio button next to the Send Temporary Sets line. Be sure that you click the Update Member Information button to make sure that that information is captured in the system. A temporary envelope packet includes 9 envelopes that are pre-printed with your member's name and address, also along with their envelope number and the date. And as you can see, those sets are mailed first class each Tuesday, and they just cost $1.25, and that includes the postage. So on the main page, you can select to see which of your members are going to receive the temporary envelope sets for the coming Tuesday. In the Display Members box, like you see on this screen here, you check the Show Me Only the Members that will get temporary sets. That's pretty straightforward. You check that box and then you click the Search Display Specific Members button. The members that are going to receive temporary sets will be displayed, and they're also highlighted in a light blue color so you can quickly recognize them visually from the main list. They'll remain that color until the envelopes go out with that Tuesday's mailing. So now that your data is all up to date, there are lots of things that you can do with it. Most of the things we're going to talk about next come from the reports section of online list maintenance. You'll see the View Download Reports tab on the blue toolbar, and that's where these reports reside. You can use these reports to generate lists of members by any number of criteria, such as status or group membership, etc. And you can use these for mailings or making phone calls or any other kind of campaign that you might have going on at the church. You can download these lists in various formats, or you can also print them. One of the nice features of OLM is that you can download your list into a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet that you can use in Microsoft Word Mail Merge to create mailing labels, envelopes, and letters. So to get the various reports and lists, you just need to click on the View Download Reports tab on that blue toolbar. Then you choose the report that best suits your needs and follow the on-screen prompts to create and print or export your list. Now, time and again, we hear from our church members that keeping track of the migrating members is a very exasperating and not to mention time-consuming task. So how do you handle your migrating members, such as your snowbird parishioners who winter in warmer climates, or those who spend their summers by the lake or the river or wherever, those folks that are part of an academic community in your parish, or also parishioners who must spend extended time either in the hospital or that simply aren't at home. Almost all churches have members that migrate, and mailing to them while they are away is a waste of the church's precious resources. Return sets are not only a waste of materials, they can also incur costly return postage. So, one of the neatest features in OLM is the temporarily inactive status. This status can be used to inactivate a member and then set a date for their automatic return to the mailing list. When you put a member in temporary inactive status, just click in the reactivation date box to get a neat pop-up calendar for selecting a future reactivation date. Okay, as a side note, when choosing a reactivation date, just be sure that you keep in mind your deadline date for your envelope mailings. It's always best to allow a few extra days in advance of your deadline as a reactivation date, just to make sure the parishioner gets back on the list in time. If you're not sure about your deadline date, please contact your customer service representative, and they can make sure that you get a list of your cutoffs for each of your mailings. So when you don't want to mail to your entire member list, you can use Cathedral's OLM to create subgroups. Within most churches, there are subgroups of members that you would like to segregate for tracking purposes. OLM can be used to create subgroups to help you with this. You can create up to 4 groups that are just designed to fit your needs. You might choose to create the subgroups by age or a parish role, interests such as parents of school children, but each group that you create would be assigned a code and then also a description. Group codes are then associated with the members who meet the criteria for that inclusion. Once your groups are created in the Edit Group Codes tab, which can be found on that blue toolbar, you can assign members to the group from the Member Record screen. That's the screen where you make your member updates. Each member in your parish can be assigned can be associated with up to 4 groups. So once you have created these groups and then you've assigned the group codes to your members, you can then look up and generate reports by group. So to do this, you simply go to that View Download Reports tab that we've talked about on the blue toolbar, and then you select the group report. From there, you'll choose a group that you would like to create a listing for and click Refresh. Your group will then show up on the screen. Once you have your listing, you can then print it and or download it to the various options available. This feature is really helpful when you're sending out mailings to subgroups. Like we talked before, you can use the Microsoft Excel and Word applications to generate mailing labels or envelopes or even letters. So now we'll talk about reviewing status changes. For administrative purposes, it's sometimes necessary to review status changes that have been made to your members. To access a listing of changes in status, again, we're going to go to that View Download Reports tab, and this time we're going to select the Status Change Report. Now you can filter this report based on the new status that's been assigned to a member or by all of the statuses. You can also filter by a specific single date, or you can choose to use a range of dates. The status change report can also be printed and downloaded like all of the other reports. Now, one of the most difficult things for the church office to keep track of are members that move without notifying the parish. It seems as if the church is always the very, very last to know. But not anymore, not with Cathedral's OLM. As a non-exclusive limited service provider licensee of the United States Postal Service, we offer NCOA link service to all of our OLM churches. NCOA link, which stands for National Change of Address link, allows us to compare your member list with the National Change of Address database so that we are now able to capture the new address, if it's available, of any of your members that have moved and failed to notify the parish, but did notify the post office. So now with NCOA link service, your members might be able to run, but now they're no longer able to hide. To find your address changes on OLM, you just need to again go to the View Download Reports tab. That's a very important tab for you to know, the View Download Reports tab. And this time you're going to choose the NCOA link report. Now, once notified of a change of address, you have the option to just do nothing because the mail will automatically be delivered to the new address. Or you can delete or inactivate the member from your mailing list if it's, say, a permanent move out of town or your church area, or if no forwarding address is provided. So the report displays the member's old address, their new address if it is available, and it also lets you know whether or not the move is an individual move. For example, a child moving out onto their own, or if it's an entire family move. It also lets you know when the move took place. Now this report, like all the other reports you can see on the screen here, can be printed or it can be downloaded to the various file formats. It's a good idea to print or download this report so that you can use it to update your church management software with any new addresses that you may have. So using this free of charge NCOA link notification system not only saves you money on return postage and also saves resources in not having wasted packets, but it also helps you to foster those better relationships or stronger relationships with your members because their mail gets to them at their new address and it arrives on time. Okay, so we have at this point walked through the major features of OLM's system. So if you weren't already up to date with how the OLM system could help you out, you should now be able to add new members, update your existing members to make sure that your list is accurate, and you should be also able to send the temporary envelope set so that you can foster those relationships with your new families quicker and also help keep those folks that are current members of the church happy when they lost their envelope packets. You should be able to get member lists in various formats. You should also be able to temporarily inactivate a parishioner. You should be able to create group codes for the parishioners based on criteria that you choose and select, and you should be able to review status changes and track those members that are on the move. So at this time, I would like for you to be able to add any questions or comments on the dashboard, and I'll take a few minutes to be able to respond to these questions you submitted during the presentation. Okay, so today's webinar has covered the highlights of the service. If you'd like a more in-depth demonstration, please contact your customer service representative as we'd be glad to set one up for you. Again, I'd like to say thank you for taking the time out of your busy day and for participating in today's webinar. We appreciate that we get to serve you and to serve the parish.